the idea with community, back to why it's important to me, is, when I was growing in my career, I learned a lot from watching YouTube videos about, I was an Android developer. And so I would go and, try to figure out which Android developers I thought were good at what they did, as far as, and who were good teachers. And there's a lot of them that I, really admired. And so I would go to as many events as I could. And I would not only connect with some of the ones in my local area, but I would go to conferences like Google I/O, or DroidCon. And actually, I lead a couple of conferences now too, DevFest DC and Android Summit. And, I get so much out of those, and I get to meet so many interesting people. There's so many different avenues that can come out of just those conversations. It's really breathtaking. And so for me anyway, building those connections and getting to meet really interesting people, I learned so much about my industry just from going through that. And there's so much give back. There's so much love and affection that goes into community, that it's part of it is really uplifting. That's another part of it. Part of the way that I was able to really grow in my career was directly through community. And a big part of this is me giving back to my community. And so I put energy into it so I can help grow my local community, maybe a larger community. But part of it was, I wasn't very good software developer for a while, and I got better at it through learning through this avenue and this venue. And so, part of this is me giving back. Number one, if you're going to, if you're going to join a startup, or you're going to try to found a startup, I would recommend a book by a guy named Eric Ries. It's called The Lean Startup. It's only about 110 pages, 120 pages. It's not super long, or at least the last one was. I don't know if they've revised it. But the main theme of that book is, you don't want to put a bunch of energy into building a thing and then finding out nobody wants it. Okay. So figuring out from your community, if it's something the community would pay for or buy or want or use, we prefer them to pay for it, is really like table stakes. And if you come to a pitch competition where you can say, hey, look, I sent out 5 surveys, I hit 1,000 people on each of the surveys, and 84% of the respondents said yes, they'd pay some amount of money for a service like this. That's pretty powerful, especially if you're pitching to VCs or other entrepreneurs who can get you connected in the community. A strong startup community supports everyone, and it takes a whole group of people to make things happen. There needs to not be like, one group of kind of old men or women that are like kind of driving the community, that have been there for a long time. It's about the people who are actually in the startups, the ones who are driving it. Those are the ones who are making a difference. And those are the ones that you need to get buy-in from, and the rest will work out well. But definitely figuring out like whether what you're trying to do is something that people would buy, and figuring that out very early. And oh, by the way, what you're pitching may not be something that they would buy, but if you pivot a little bit and you get some feedback where it's like, hey, well, actually, if you did this and this and this, maybe I would pay for it. That's a big part of the book, is always like deliver a little bit of value, and then figure out whether your customers actually want it, and then figure out the next thing you're going to do. It's interesting. I feel like it's the same way to make friends. Show up. That's it. Like, you don't have to do anything the first time, right? If there's angst, just show up to the next one, show up to the next one. You physically show up, you're going to get comfortable with the people that are there. That's just the reality. You're going to get even if they're different people, you're going to get comfortable with yourself. Conversations are organically going to happen. You're going to get more and more engaged, and you're going to get comfortable. That's just human nature. So it's about, be dogged, go, show up. It's the same thing. Like I said, if you want to build friends, go find a place, go find a golf club or a golf course. And, I don't think you have to like, join a membership or pay for a membership, but just show up. If you move to a new area, what do? You go show up somewhere where there's more people, more humans, and eventually you're going to meet some people that you can synergize with. It's the same thing with networking events, the same thing with meetups. Meetups generally have a theme. Find something that you're interested in. So, if you have a cool car, or you like fast cars, or you like Corvettes, or, you like running, or you like biking, or you like doing, any of the things that you're interested in, like there are groups that you can go and, hang out with a crowd, and you will get to meet some new people. It might be scary, it might be hard, the definition of courage really is like doing something that you're not comfortable with. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you're actually going to be.